staring weirdly off screen.
Oh yeah, participants. We've got 83, 87. Oh God, we better be on our best. We better be amusing, haven't we? 105.
Hey, Alex.
Hi.
Hey, Colin.
9:30. No one's going to come. Shit, and we don't have to
wrong. The numbers are
Hey,
shit.
Christopher.
Hi, Chris. Yeah, finally get to see a panel. That's so cool.
Well, everyone, welcome to Am I the Arsehole, the panel that brings you the big questions and asks for the big answers from people. Steve loves this, has loved it ever since I brought it to his attention. I don't know what it is. It's like Steve doesn't like judging people, which is ridiculous because we all do.
I don't mind it actually. We've had a good few laughs.
Yeah, it's grown on you. It's grown on you. So what will happen is, I will ask our panel here the verdicts on numerous stories that I've got. They are stories that people have put together and put onto a Reddit thread called "Am I the Arsehole?" And there are 4 judgments. You can say you're the arsehole, who would be the person who's written the story. You're not the arsehole. Everyone in the story is an arsehole, or there are no arseholes in the story whatsoever. But we are joined tonight, me and Steve, by Sarah Hilary. Say hello to everyone, Sarah.
Hello, hi.
And Jenny Blackhurst. And Abir Mukherjee, unfortunately.
Hi.
You can get 30% off the books of all of these authors on the Waterstones website using the code LOCKEDUP2. The thingies at the top. I think I posted it. I did. Yes, that's the link up there. But yes, so I Steve, I'm going to jump in straight away with one. I mean, like this is because it's not long. It's just it's a little bit longer than the other ones. So, but this one, there's a lot to unpack here. So I'm going to jump right into it. Unless you have anything.
Do you have the music?
No. I wish I had the music. On the podcast, we have like this weird piano-y type of music, and
it's like moving.
Play it on your guitar.
Music.
No,
what?
Guitar,
play it on the guitar.
I'm not talented. What are you talking about? I can't do that.
Mark done this. Do I need to make notes? Because I feel like I should be making.
You could make notes. I mean, that would make
notes.
You a great judge.
Have you been on this podcast before?
Are you seriously making notes a bit?
So, I'm not even going to listen.
Jenny just made me panic. I panicked because of Jenny. Jenny talking about notes.
I don't have a notebook.
But you're such a slut. You had your notebook and pen right there. Well, of course, you're at your writing desk. It's fair enough.
I'm at my writing ironing board. I'm on my writing ironing board.
You can also, the people who are watching, you can make your assessments when I ask for them. I'll say, and then you can put in whether or not you think the person is an asshole or the other person is, or no one is, or everyone is. So I'll tell you the title that they've put on the subject, and then hopefully it gets explained later on. Am I the arsehole for throwing away my husband's couch? He is pretending to be a beetle and it's driving me nuts. So backstory, my 33 female husband, 35 male, is a successful actor in film and theatre. He's very good. He's been in some minor roles in films with some A-list actors and very seriously dedicated to his craft. He is a firm believer in method acting, meaning he tries to truly live his role in order to understand it. Because of COVID, he basically hasn't had any work this year, and that's been really stressful on us both. A few weeks back, he got the main part in a play by a major theatre director, and so he's over the moon to be not just learning lines again, but working with the greats. He has taken this opportunity extremely seriously. The play is The Metamorphosis, about a German man waking up one day and finding out he has become a monstrous bug, a huge beetle. My husband has the man beetle part. For his method acting, he strapped a big thing of cardboard to his back, like 6 by 4 feet, to give him the immobility of a big flat bug. He spends all his time on the floor, scurrying around and hissing and snarling and clicking to communicate during working hours only. This isn't really a problem for me because we have enough space in our 1-bedroom apartment. The real issue is that since bugs are sensitive to light, he spends most of the day hiding under the couch, sleeping and snarling. This sucks because the couch is the only place in our apartment where I can sit to do work for my company during the day. I don't have a desk, but it's also the only place where he can conveniently lie flat and hide. Our bed frame doesn't have space underneath. This has been going on for the last week. I kept tripping over his cardboard shell when I walk past the couch, and his sub-couch noises would disrupt me while I'm doing work. So I kind of lost it while he was sleeping in bed and threw out the couch. I replaced it with a nice big desk and chair from IKEA that I can work on and he couldn't hide under. This gets to the am I the arsehole question. He is now complaining that I threw out his couch, which is true, that nowhere else in the apartment is quite as good for being a bug, I'm not sure, and that me sabotaging his ability to be bug-like is compromising our finances. Not really true. I make more money than he does. He has a point on that throwing out his couch might have been over the line, but there wasn't really a good spot for my work desk anywhere else in the apartment, and frankly, the bug under the couch thing was driving me nuts. His method acting still seems to be going fine. He's now spending most of his days under a blanket fort in our bedroom. So no permanent damage appears to have been done other than the couch, which kind of needed to be replaced anyway. Am I the arsehole? There is so much.
I have no
I don't understand why he can't be a bug under the IKEA desk.
I don't understand why she doesn't have bug spray in the house. I see a bug under my couch. I know what I'm doing with it.
See, I always assumed that acting meant you had to actually act. You know, you pretend to be a bug. You don't need to live as one.
Well, have you ever seen a bug bitching at me for throwing out a couch? No, so you're doing it wrong.
No.
You can't talk, actually.
You might not be able to hear it, Jenny, because they've got really, really like little tiny voices. So it might be, but you wouldn't know.
But he's a big
really
bug.
Tiny voice.
He's a big bug, so his correspondingly, his voice would be normal. What I couldn't understand was, what is he clicking? She said he's running about, he's clicking. What's he clicking?
Making a clicking noise, I suspect. Like, I don't know. But I don't know. This doesn't sound. My kid is becoming an actor. I don't think he would. I mean, he takes it very seriously. I don't see him hiding under a couch and pretend to be. You can be a bug anywhere. You don't need to be under the couch.
That's harsh. You can't be a bug under a big 100-watt bulb.
But he's being a bug underneath a blanket in the bedroom now, isn't it? It seems to be going okay. So it seems a bit. But I'm surprised she threw out the couch because, you know, it's which do we all spend more time on as writers, couches or desk chairs?
Yeah.
As if there's a massive bug under it.
Yeah.
Why did he get underneath the couch? I wasn't really getting that.
What mad couch is this? It's so high off the ground that a grown man with a cardboard sheet on his back can get underneath it. This was not.
It happens.
I
mad
can't wait to see this film. I can't wait to see this film.
I know. It's a film or a play. What was it?
I didn't know Kafka's Metamorphosis was a play.
Well, I don't think, but it could be a play. I don't think it is. No, I think it's been made as a play, though.
One word.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a different quiz. Sorry.
I think the whole thing about method acting. I mean, like someone like a Daniel Day-Lewis or a De Niro is known for it as well. De Niro went and drove a cab when he was doing Taxi Driver. Daniel Day-Lewis went back in time and became Lincoln. That kind of thing.
Sure.
But if you can't method act a bug, you're never going to really know.
And this is the point of what Kafka was trying to say, because it's not about, it's not about the existential experience of a bug, really, is it?
No.
If we're going to be intellectual for a moment, I hate being intellectual this time of night, but that's not what the essence of Kafka. That's not what Kafka was reaching for. I feel Kafka would have pulled him an arsehole.
He's basically got a job where he gets to lie under a couch every day, occasionally click, and he may well be a writer.
Yeah, it's a dream job, really, isn't it?
I mean, that's the thing.
I'm method acting my next book. I think I'm just going to lie in bed all day and like a murdered corpse, and see how that works out.
I mean, like the idea that it's just during working hours. It's like, he clocks on at 9 o'clock, he gets under the couch, and then at 5 o'clock he's like, right, that'll do me for the day. Oh, that was hard.
On top of the couch.
He's presumably not going to spend all his time on the stage under a couch. I mean, that's going to be a really boring play, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, surely there's more to his role than that.
You've read the book. It's probably
It
quite.
is, yeah, that's true. A fair point. Anyway, I think she should tell him where she put the couch, and if she put it out like on the tip or at the bottom of the road for the bin men to come and get, he could go, you know, like a true bug would, to find his couch.
Just throw it out. She could have just put it in the garden. Bugs can live in the garden.
I think they had a 1-bedroom flat, so I suspect they didn't have a garden. I'm looking at the clues. I think she said there's plenty of room in our 1-bedroom flat.
I wasn't
Clearly
taking
there wasn't, otherwise she wouldn't have needed to take these measures. I don't
Well,
think.
you know, if he's going proper method, then as a bug, he shouldn't, like, you know, try and buy the land that he lives on first. They just turn up, don't they? You know, I never invite the bugs into the garden, but they always seem to end up there.
Did she specify what sort of a bug he was?
No, it just says bug.
I thought she said beetle because Ian Rankin was confused in the message.
Yeah, it is.
Like I was. I thought he was being literally, you know, John Lennon.
But like,
which would have been
It might have been a Volkswagen.
You wouldn't get John Lennon hanging under your sofa.
Yeah. No.
She does actually misspell beetle all the way through it as well, as if it was one of the.
As if it was.
Maybe it was John Lennon. John Lennon hiding from Yoko.
Yes.
Under the couch, going, love, me too.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say that the bug man is the arsehole for this sole reason.
I agree. Yeah.
Because I mean, he could be the. I mean, what is it? Who cares? He's in a play. You go watch this play.
Yeah.
No one's gonna come out going, "Oh my God, how good was that bug? The bug made it for me." Put that man phone up that man's agent.
away his couch. They're not good now, are they?
He could play Hamlet. Have you seen his bug? My God.
You've seen his cigar.
I suspect it was the whole thing is just an excuse for him to lie under the couch all day.
I disagree.
For whatever strange reason.
I think he's obviously an arsehole, but she's also an arsehole for marrying him.
Yeah.
Right? Chucking out the couch. I mean, that's just overkill. You don't just you chuck your husband out. You don't chuck the couch out. The couch has value.
Yeah, she's going to miss that couch, isn't she? So why, you know?
We've all done it. We've all missed couch.
This is the bug that lies under it. I would have thought.
Yeah.
Colin's right. She's enabling him.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna read out some of the comments. Colin Ward says, "Get the Dyson onto him." Ali Kennedy, it wouldn't be a problem if she just divorced him. Mary Pickens, she should just put her foot down hard. Bug spray, attack with the Hoover. You need a therapist. Louise Fairbairn, has he ever thought of, I don't know, acting, like making it up? I mean, that's my point throughout the whole thing. I did some acting. This is probably why I didn't get any further with my acting. I'd never pretended to be a bug for 8 hours a day.
Your bug was no good. Your bug needed work. You were a totally unconvincing bug.
Yeah,
you were a wonderful butterfly, Luca.
Unconvincing bug was the headline of the review in the paper. To be fair. Linda Wright says, "I'm trying to imagine the great method actor Marlon Brando hiding under a couch and clicking." He wouldn't fit under the couch during the later days. He's an arsehole for lying under there. I mean, maybe he can sit on toilet like other bugs, then he is an arsehole. Megan Purdy, here's the arsehole and he's missing the point of the play. Sarah said that. Maybe he could method act being a normal husband, which I think is my problem, is that, like, how you could, like, broach that subject in a marriage is like, listen, I'm a method actor and I've just got this pass as a bug and I'm going to be doing it for the 8 hours a day. It seems like they never had that conversation.
No, and I think it's the thin end of the wedge, because what if he does get, you know, what if his next play is, I don't know, Macbeth.
Spider-Man.
People, you know, I mean, what is he going to do? It could go anywhere, couldn't it? If this is what he does
really well, and then suddenly he gets really ultra famous from it and loads of money, she'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh no, he'll run off with some actress by then. That's what they do.
Chuck him out now. You'll never hear the end of it.
I mean, I think that's the issue there, is that, like, there is no communication whatsoever. And I think that's a core swap.
All marriages need communication. I think you're right, Luca. I think there's very weak bond.
I said that exact thing to my wife via email 2 days ago, and I'm still waiting for a reply.
Is your couch still there, Abir? You better go and check.
I'm sleeping on it.
Resort to an ironing board for a desk.
This man's going to have to change his acting methods. I mean, what if he gets cast as the back end of a pantomime horse? That's a long run at Christmas. It just doesn't work like that, son.
I think Mary Pickin is right. Rent-a-kill is the answer. Let's go around. Sarah, what's the verdict from you?
Yeah, he's an arsehole. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So Jenny?
Yeah, he's the arsehole.
Abir?
No, they're both arseholes. They deserve each other.
And Steve?
Yeah, he is the arsehole, I think.
So Abir just doesn't like waste, I think, is the issue here. It's just like he's just
listen, I think look, she married him, right?
Yeah.
You know, I've got no sympathy here for either of them. He's obviously an arsehole. I can't believe this is the first manifestation of arseholery that has come from this man. Right?
He was keeping his arseholery under wraps for this very moment. He did lead in with the idea that he'd had a bad time during lockdown, though. He might have gone a bit crazy because he hadn't been able to act. So he started acting up. I don't know. But yeah.
It's a bug.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go on to the next one. I think that was quite clear he was an arsehole. Okay, next one. Am I the arsehole for telling my roommate he can't have a red room? I had to put a euphemism in the title. I've never read 50 Shades of Grey, but I basically understand it means sex room. That's what he's trying to do. Our third roommate moved out, but we both make more money now, and honestly don't want to invite a third person. My roommate wants to convert his old room into a sex haven. This guy doesn't even get laid a lot. I've never protested him doing it in his room. Now he wants a sex room. I think he's just been really horny in quarantine without a girlfriend. I told him we weren't going to have a sex room, and he told me I was being an arsehole. I said that we both need to agree on what we do with the room, and I didn't want it to become a sex room. He asked me if I have any better ideas, and I admittedly don't. He said that it should at least become a sex room until I do. And he said it shouldn't even bother me because he won't be having anybody in there until quarantine is over. I asked what the point of having a sex room was then, and he asked me what the point of not having one is. I don't want a fucking sex room in my home. Am I the arsehole?
That was superb. I kind of love them both. They're both so awful, aren't they? And these two deserve each other, just as you were saying, Abir said about the other two. I don't know. They're very funny. They're very amusing. They ought to have their own sitcom, like The Odd Couple. I could see this running for a long time.
I just don't see the point of a sex room that you can't have sex in. Like, I'd be fully behind the sex room if it wasn't locked down. If you can have sex in it, great. But
well, you've got Jenny standing behind the sex room now. Is that what we're doing?
I'm totally in for a sex room, but not when you can't have sex. Presumably neither of them have girlfriends that they can have sex with.
It's not in the bedroom. What's in the sex room specifically that isn't in the bedroom? Is it like a mirror on the ceiling or something?
Well, you'd have a swing, obviously.
We've got a mirror in our kitchen ceiling. That's how cool we are. That's a joke.
I think that there's a possibility for romance here. I think perhaps the roommate that is insisting on the sex room has got a secret crush on the other guy, and that's what it's all about. Because lockdown is, then they could use it, couldn't they? And the way they're sparring, the way you read it out, it reads a little bit like it might be heading in a kind of romantic direction.
Because otherwise they've got to share the sex room, and now I'm finding it a bit weird.
That's my issue.
So is it like
no, you're finding it weird?
You've only just reached the point of weird in this whole scenario.
I was thinking about like having to wipe down the swings and things, and
who's responsible for the hygiene in the sex room?
Yeah. So like, is there a chart on the wall like when you go into the toilets in Tesco? Like, this sex room was cleaned 25 minutes ago by Abir, and then tank and test has nothing on the kitchen ceiling.
I can actually attest to the fact that Abir never cleaned sex rooms after.
I'm lazy that way. I'm lazy. But you know what? You started off saying it was a sex haven, and I heard tax haven, so I was wondering what we were talking about. The accountant in me going, what's wrong with that?
I
turn our bedrooms into a tax haven.
You remember,
I'm
like,
worried about the bug guy being under the couch in the sex room. I'm just, it's a new place for him, isn't it? Because he would go unnoticed almost in his.
Several, Colin, several.
Yeah, he'd fit in there. He'd be fine.
I remember, like, meeting rooms in workplaces where you'd have to book out the meeting room. Would they have to have the same kind of rota?
I think so. I think that's only fair, isn't it?
And blokes would always overestimate how long they needed it for.
The best piece of advice I was ever given was a mate of mine called Stephen Kelly many years ago, about 30 years ago, almost said, Abir, if you're ever making love to music, make sure it's something by the Ramones. No song longer than 2.5 minutes. And I've checked.
And you checked.
Well, I can see a Ramones CD behind you.
It's the only one I've got.
That's actually a beer's sex room.
It's in my sex kitchen.
There should be a playlist for this sex room, I think, shouldn't there? This is, I think there's.
And now we're all on board with the sex room. We're practically decorating it now. We've got lighting.
Guys in the comments have been coming up with some terrific ideas. I think there's Paul Gitcham is suggesting decent coffee and little packets of ginger stem biscuits.
That's a premier.
Yes, and can we have like a flat screen telly?
Yeah,
big TV.
Okay.
Publicity in the background. I mean, we're just basically describing what's in your room at this point, Abby.
The Ramones CD. Whiskey. There must be whiskey, right?
I don't remember.
Steve, what I mean, like, Steve, have you ever, like, looked at a room and thought, what should we do with this type of room? And
No, I'm listening to the story, and back in my mind, I'm just thinking, God, is this room COVID secure?
This is the trouble, isn't it?
Will they have plexiglass at different points? What would
with holes in it?
With holes, yeah. What would I don't know? All these people are, use the room for anything. You could store fucking donkeys in that room. You get more use out of it than having a fucking sex room. That's just ridiculous. What a ridiculous! They're all fuckers.
I think you can't really have a sex room unless you've got a basement. It has to be sort of in the basement. You can't have it in a flat.
That's
a murder room. That's a murder room.
Yeah, that's a murder
right?
room.
Have I been doing this wrong?
You've been doing this wrong.
In the kitchen, apparently.
Sex kitchen is just not.
Sex kitchen in the basement.
I've put on so much weight since we started this sex kitchen.
Oh.
How long the toaster takes to pop up. It's how dark.
My Ramones toaster.
Some of the comments. So, Colin Ward says, I don't think it is safe talking to this sex room guy about arseholes. Thomas says the roommate that wants the sex room is most definitely an arsehole. Dawn Barclays just says, what's the address? Ali Kennedy says maybe they could rent out the sex room and generate more income than another roommate would be. This is where the issue comes in for me, is how hygienic this would be if it's being shared. I mean, I've got my problem isn't so much with the idea of one. It's just, I mean,
timeshare.
I still do have an issue with the idea of one. I'm just thinking it can't be shared.
Communal use, yeah.
Communal sex rooms is never the answer to any question anyone has ever asked.
No. And surely it might
other than what's the worst idea you've ever had?
Kevin Ferguson says, why can't your man just convert his own bedroom? I mean, he could literally just rename his own bedroom.
I suspect he might be using it mainly for that purpose anyway. I might be wrong.
It doesn't sound like he's having
yeah, you're wrong. All by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil Patterson.
There's an Edgar Allan Poe book, story called is it Edgar Allan Poe? There's some. No, it's not Edgar Allan Poe. Someone else wrote a ghost story called The Red Room, and it's ruined for me now.
Ian Rankin was saying that. It's a horror thing.
I know. Well, it is. horror in a way.
Will Patter Zoom, as he's going by now, put the tumble dryer in there. I think it still counts as a sex room.
Sex/utility room.
Yes.
Just put some washing on.
It's an old tumble dryer.
Fabric softener here, bit of fabric softener there. It's like, oh well.
How long does thin dry take? Longer than a Ramones song?
I think someone said, Paul Gitcham says, presumably they need a separate room for any guests to self-isolate for a fortnight first. So they're going to need another room, like an isolation room.
Yeah, and self-flagellate afterwards by the sound. If any of them are having sex with these guys.
Ian Rankin, as Abir says, I admit I'm old-fashioned, but don't red rooms belong in horror novels?
Yes.
Ian Rankin, somewhere in Scotland now, just red room.
Coming next November. Red room. Ian Rankin.
It's just, we now know what to get Ian for his next birthday, to be fair. What do you get the man who's already got everything? A red room.
With or without washing machine?
I like Colin Ward's comment, they're going to need an extension. No, not that kind of extension. You win, Colin.
Smells like that.
Colin Ward pointing out that Meatloaf's Anything for Love of 13 Minutes is an awful sex song, Abir.
Right. I've had relationships less.
Bye.
But I won't do that.
Don't do that.
Oh, dear.
Kevin Ferguson pointing out that saying donkeys, did Steve just say donkeys? Not that kind of room, surely.
You wouldn't, Deanna. That's just a wee room for the donkeys to relax in. Don't do anything.
Because it's so stressful being a donkey, isn't it, Steve?
Tracy Mains,
You're in a sex room, Abir. In a donkey in a sex room, I would think.
Tracy Mains, who one of our panelists knows intimately, just posts, I've just logged on. What in the hell is going on here?
Yeah. Tracy, don't go upstairs.
Did she just say further down, I'm typing from our sex room. So Steve has been very quiet because he's already got it.
I'm just wondering about my career, really, and how I sort of came here. I mean, it's sort of a naked lunch moment. You know, I've written books and everything. Been published and, yeah. What the fuck am I doing here, man?
Just come round my kitchen, I'll make you a sandwich.
Why am I here? I'm just going to call my agent and sort all this out, because this kind of thing can't continue.
I think we should play a new game where we get, you know, when people go on Rightmove and look at houses, we all do when we're bored, you know.
Yeah.
Decide which room is the red room. It's just the new game I'm going to play. You know, it might be the bathroom or the kitchen, or, you know, there'll be something in there. There'll be some little clue somewhere on the shelf behind them.
Alyssa Clemens in the comments will say, the realtor, and here we have the sex room.
Yeah. The starting point, I think.
Excuse the donkeys, they're resting.
Relaxing.
And Alex Townsend makes the great point, every room is a red room if you're imaginative enough. So let's go round. Sarah, who's the arsehole in this story?
I'm tempted to say neither of them, really. I don't mind them. I think they're quite funny. I quite like these two. So it's either both of them or neither of them, I think.
Okay.
I'm going with neither of them. I quite like them.
Yeah,
I think I'll get over it.
And at least he asked, to be fair.
No, I'm with Sarah on this. This is just weird flirting between the two.
It is. Yeah.
And they are going to end up married.
Yeah.
And they won't have a sex room.
And they've given us so much fun and delight tonight, haven't they, really? They have been invaluable to this segment.
Steve, what's your judgment?
I think they should all be arrested.
Donkeys too.
No, you don't arrest donkeys.
No, you don't arrest donkeys. Okay, not yet.
Yeah, I always like throwing in when we did this Am I the Arsehole with Ruth Ware on the podcast. Steve instantly messaged me and was like, we can't do this. Ruth is a very well respected writer because of the peanut butter story.
Yeah, but she was all in, like she went into great detail and depth, logical thinking.
Very quiet. I think your upbringing is probably quite religious in nature. That's what I'm going with. You get all
mine.
Yeah.
Cavanagh says no.
You get all flustered, and you just go. You want to go to a safe space with donkeys.
I don't like this.
We need a,
It's making I can tell.
we need a Steve Cavanagh sanctuary.
Yeah, there should be.
Barry Hereford says they should be bloody well hung. Colin Ward says I think we should contact their landlord.
Yes.
I suspect this video might get lost during the edits. So it's a sanctuary for them honest about the donkey. Jesus Christ. Let's move on. So the next one is I've lost it now. Okay. Am I the arsehole for laughing at my co-worker's call? My co-worker read a management/negotiating book that said to use someone's name a lot to get them to agree with you or something. It doesn't work, mostly because she says it's way too much. Kind of like, hey, John, thanks for getting back to me. What I need you to do, John, is to go through the paperwork again, John. Can you do that, John? Thanks, John. It's really obvious and off-putting, especially with a subcontractor that's run by a guy named Richard who goes by Dick. She and I are sharing an office, and they had a half-hour call on speaker where she said things like, Dick, this is just what I need. Oh, God, Dick. I can't take much more, Dick. I know it's hard, Dick. Can you send me a picture, Dick? Come on, Dick. Come on already. Dick. Slow down. I can't keep up. And so much more I can't remember. I was holding it together, but when Dick said he would have to check with his project manager, who's also named Richard, she said, well, then get that other Dick in here too if we're ever going to finish. I burst out laughing and went out of the room. Thankfully, Dick had a sense of humour about it, and he wasn't offended, and our boss thinks it's funny, but she is furious at me and says I embarrassed her. I know we're at work and I should be professional, but there's only so many dicks I can take. Am I the arsehole?
There's only so many dicks I can take. Am I the asshole?
Yeah.
I think the whole thing's made up.
This is why we're not on the BBC.
The Belfast Broadcasting Corporation.
I think the boss is definitely an arsehole for doing the name thing. I can't bear that. It's like you get salespeople on the phone who do that, don't they? But I think that whole conversation involving the hold on Dick and all that. No. I think that was made up. So I think the guy might be a bit of an arsehole for making it up. I think he's exaggerated the whole thing. If it's true, then obviously you'd laugh, but she wouldn't be angry with him for laughing because she would know it was funny.
But unless she didn't realise she was doing it.
No.
Imagine that you wouldn't be
laughing. A lovely thought, isn't it? Lovely thought. Well, she's naive enough to believe that you can use people's names to get them on side. So maybe she is innocent, so innocent that she didn't understand what she was doing. I suppose it's possible, isn't it?
It is, Sarah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so that if I can't say that she's the asshole, because then I'd be the asshole. I laughed when she said it.
Yeah,
I would laugh.
It's true.
Thrown a few of my own in.
Yeah.
Added a dick or two myself. I would definitely be the asshole.
Abir, what do you think of this?
Well, Luca Veste, I would have to say, Luca, that no, I mean it's the woman doing all the talking, Luca. She's the one that's the dick, Luca.
Yeah.
Yes, but who's the asshole?
Oh yes.
Yes.
If she's the dick.
I think maybe she knew what she was doing and she just, wanted to see how long he could hold out without laughing. Given the list of things that she said, it was amazing that he only laughed at the last bit, wasn't it?
Yeah. I want to see the human resources complaint.
Yes.
And I want to sit in on that disciplinary meeting.
Yes, definitely.
Steve, were you ever heard this thing about using people's names over and over at work?
Yes. I worked between finishing my degree and doing a postgraduate thing, I sort of said, I can't do law, it's no good. So I worked as a bouncer and I worked in a call center for a while, a couple of years working different call centers. And you were taught that. That's how you build rapport on the phone. You use the customer's first name. So you're told to do that. And sometimes people monitor you and say, did you use the name? And are you establishing rapport? Which is, awful. But you're supposed to do it. So on that basis, I think the real arsehole in a twist is Dick. I think because he's Richard, who in their right mind in this day and age says, oh, call me Dick. Well, unless they really are a fucking dick. You know what I mean?
I used to work for Deloitte, right? And there was a guy called Egmont Cock, right? And he would
No, there wasn't.
I swear it. He shortened his name.
He wouldn't make that up. He wouldn't make that up.
Cock.
No, he didn't.
It was in the phone book. I swear it was in the directory. And then he was just Eggy Cock. And then in the end, Egmont in the directory. I swear that's the truth. If there's anybody who worked at Deloitte back in the early 2000s, back me up here.
I bet the receptionist loved it because people rang up and said, "Can I speak to Egmont, please?" And she'd be like, "Egmont who? You've only got one." No, we've got lots of Egmonts. Which one do you want? No, you've got fucking one Egmont. You just want me to say it. Fine, I want Eggy Cock. I want Eggy Cock.
Someone's posted a YouTube link. Don't anyone click on that. I've no idea what it is. Don't click on it. Don't do that. That's not nice. Whatever it is.
You know what? I'm going to Google Eggy Cock right now.
I think you have to do that. How was it spelled?
Do it on a secret browser. VPN.
He's on. Tracy's found him on Facebook.
I want an apology. I want an apology.
Someone's found him on LinkedIn.
There he is. Come on.
Send him an invite to this.
I feel bad now.
Let's have a long
my whole day tomorrow ringing. Where was it? Deloitte.
I'm gonna
appearance by Eggy.
See, I told you it was good.
Oh, Abir.
I want.
He is.
Doodle Productions now.
Yeah.
That's making me laugh too.
He likes exploring opportunities.
See, you think I make this stuff up?
Eggy. Eggy.
Oh no, he was seconded.
He's in the governing body of a leading girls' school. I think we need to watch this guy.
You know what? Come on, this is unfair now. We're having a go at a real person. So.
We are, but fuck it, who cares? You name like that.
I tell you what, it's just.
You wish you'd never mentioned that, don't you?
No, I do actually.
Never thought you'd feel sorry for him, but yeah.
I think if he has that name, then he's probably got a sense of humour.
Wouldn't you imagine with his parents?
Maybe he doesn't. There's some people who are very funny about that. You know, I mean, you would change your name.
We wouldn't shorten
it from Egmont to Eggy.
You would not.
Why not be Monty?
I was just about to say that you could be Monty Cock.
No short, no name works with that.
Monty Cock. If you were called Monty Cock, you have to have an enormous moustache. You would twirl. Sorry, what's your name? And you go, Monty Cock.
My cat is terrorizing.
That's it. We should something say that.
I'm going to write a golden age detective fiction about a Monty Cock. That's it now.
Oh, God.
Listen, call me.
You wouldn't get this stuff at the Hay Festival.
No. Cheltenham Literature Festival would never have someone mentioning Monty Cock on it.
Anyway, so I think Dick is the problem here.
I think both the Dicks are the arseholes. Because there was another one. And the chances of two Richards calling themselves Dick sounds wrong to me. So I think you're right. I think those are they're the ones to blame, aren't they? Because no one needs to shorten their name.
So I'm sorry.
And you could shorten it to something else. Rich or Richie,
Yeah, Ricky,
not Dick.
Any of these things. Yeah, not Dick.
I going through the. I mean, like it's someone points out not the arsehole for the comic genius of that last line. No, that is way too funny to call them an arsehole. Not an arsehole. Was she making the call from the Red Room? Robert Scragg asks. It's I don't like the idea of Sean and Richard to Dick anymore. I think we all know the score now is that like it's asking for trouble. Dick entering the room is just always asking for trouble. Just be Richard.
I'm surprised he didn't make a joke. He didn't include her saying that she was putting Dick on hold. I thought that was an obvious one for the telephone conversation. Since he had every other joke, he'd managed to fit in there. So, but, yeah.
Christine Halleck says, my father interviewed a guy called Harry Dick, asked him what his real name was. That was it. No, I mean, it's just names should be just retired at this point. But no, I don't think that laughing at that is an arsehole move, because I don't think you can't stop genuine laughter. It's impossible. So
amazing he held on as long as he did, really.
And I thought he did really, really well to hold
the Ramones weren't playing.
Started laughing.
So Ken Ferguson says, please tell me there are no Richards on any of the panels over the course of the weekend. I haven't checked, I'll have to.
No, there's a few cocks though.
No, Abby is only on this one.
Hey.
My maiden name is Richard. My maiden name is Jenny Richards, so I am Jenny Dick, technically.
Jenny Dicks.
Yeah. So I'm allowed to make fun of it because it's me.
Liverpool Football Club used to have a
will stop.
Julian Dicks, and it was like heaven for any away supporter who came to watch matches. That Liverpool defender had Dicks as his surname because it was just rare. He was only there for a couple of years, I think, mainly because his second name was Dicks. So let's go around. Sarah, who do you think is the arsehole in the story?
Dick.
You're going with Dick.
Yeah.
Jenny?
I think the phone woman that was making the call.
Okay. Abir?
I can't remember the story. I can't remember where we started.
Yeah.
Last thing I remember was sex rooms and donkeys. Everything after that, it's just been, I don't know. And then suddenly people started talking about dicks and like.
Since then, Abir has been measuring. Is there an extension on his house?
You're supposed to be taking notes.
Yeah. And Steve, you have the last word.
Point. I'm gonna have to start.
Yes, I don't know. I don't care. All these people are horrible.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
There's another one.
I've got two more, don't worry. Am I the arsehole for being pissed off that my wife's dog cheated on my dog? My wife and I both have a very rare Hungarian sheepdog breed. We actually met through a social media group on them. Hers is a female, mine a male. They go at it non-stop, and she got pregnant. I was so excited to have pups. They'll be pure breeds and so cute. I love them. She was excited too. We always wanted to breed them. Well, a few days ago, she gave birth, and they're not purebreds. Looks like she got by a German Shepherd or Belgian Malinois or something. Great. I don't want to keep the pups, and I want to give them away. We agreed to have purebreds. She doesn't want to and says we should keep them. I don't want to keep them, but we need to have purebreds. She says no, and she'll get her dog spayed. I'm fucking pissed. We agreed we'd have purebred puppies, and she's going back on her word, and her dog cheated on my dog. Am I the arsehole?
Yes. That was really easy. We can just move on. Yeah.
I want to hear the name of the Belgian dog again, Luca.
Yes, please, Luca.
Yeah. I've
already closed it down. It's a Belgian a Belgian Malinois is what it says. Malinois?
Bolognese. Yeah.
Bolognese. It's a Belgian Bolognese.
Bolognese.
Do you know, I got to that word and I thought, I'll just wing it.
Honestly, though, he does sound like the kind of guy that, if his wife had a child and she had the wrong colour eyes, he'd be all like, "No, I don't like him. He's horrible." Who doesn't like puppies? Doesn't matter what they look like, does it? They're cute.
I think the idea that
he said someone in the comments just said he's a massive dog supremacist arsehole.
yes,
Adolf Hitler of dogs.
Pure breed, my ass. Come on.
and Dawn Barkley puts #dog2. I mean, the idea. This is the problem I have with people who personalize their pets to such a degree that they are now accusing them of cheating.
Yeah.
Dogs don't have the capacity to make that kind of decision making. This is.
If you take it to that level, then technically they are half brother and sister. If you're going to do the whole dogs are people thing. So really,
what he wanted was really sick, wasn't
it? They're both the arseholes for making their children breed.
Yeah.
Steve, do you think
just making notes on Jenny's argument there. I don't follow it. It suddenly got quite insane.
I don't know about that. No, I mean, for God's sake, what a dickhead. Just to have the nice puppies and don't be an arsehole.
Yeah.
That's awful.
But he met I completely agree. The question is, he met his wife at this dog thing, right? Is that right? And they got married to have dog babies.
I think so.
It's sort of weird, isn't he? Do you think he picked his wife because she was at the dog show and he does sound very strange, doesn't he? Yeah. Is it because we're crime writers and we're reading more into it? But he just sounds like a really strange kind of obsessive, shifty character.
There's so many people on this that need to get divorced.
Yes.
I always think that I keep getting told divorce rates are really high, but then you read about the people who stay together and you think they should really be higher. There's like 12 people in the world who should be married, and then the rest
then they've both got to find other people who are weird enough to marry them. So really, they should stay together and do the world a favor.
Yeah,
you could just go to a convent or a nunnery or a monastery. Bedroom, yeah. A red kennel.
Sarah's left in disgust. She's just fed up with this whole. I don't blame her. I'm gonna fucking leave as well.
Well, there is a question in the comments, Steve, from Megan, who asks, Steve, is this why you've left the podcast?
Should be.
I'm basically putting the final nail in the coffin.
4 careers here.
Yeah.
Phil Patterson says, proof you should never eat pedigree chump. Phil Patterson, by the way, is Phil Patterson, who is my agent, who has changed his name to Phil Patterson for the duration of the weekend. I really hope he remembers to change it back when he's doing Zoom meetings for foreign rights.
Thank fuck my agent isn't here. I don't think she is anyway.
Emily Reynolds, who says, yeah, absolutely, he's the arsehole. Hope the puppies bite him. The lot of arseholes from Miss Colvin. Ali Kennedy, dog incest, while this took a turn. They are very valuable. Ali Kennedy, who met his wife under the sofa while method acting. Francis Tordoff, who says he met his wife on a dogging site. I'm pretty certain that's the case as well. And Laura Hamilton making the great points. I'm also thinking this is really not about dogs. I feel like this. There's always these people who come on these sites who moan about something, and it's never about what they're talking about. Yeah. They're just angry about something else. I don't think the dogs have got anything to do. I think the dogs are fine. I think he's just not happy because he married someone because she had the same dog as him. And then realised after some time together they had nothing else in common other than the dog.
And even the dog fucking cheated.
Yeah.
I think he suspects his wife is cheating, and it's like, it's just transference. He's blaming
you can't blame her, though. You can't blame her for cheating, seriously.
No, God, no. Yeah.
There's a guy. I think there's probably a guy who lives down the street who lives on his own who has like one of those Belgian Bolognese dogs.
Oh yeah.
And like.
And a German Shepherd.
And this woman, she sees him quite a lot. I think that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
The thing is, he is a German Shepherd.
Yes.
I think it's a really easy one. This one, I think this is the easiest of the lot, to be honest. And
Yeah, it is. That was too easy, that one.
I think it's put so much stock in. So let's go around. Sarah, what do you think?
Yeah, he's an arsehole.
Yes. Jenny?
Yeah, he's the arsehole.
Abir?
Yeah, but again, who marries an arsehole like that? So I think you're all too soft on people. People don't just walk into these sorts of relationships. So both arseholes.
Everyone's the arsehole.
Everyone's the arsehole.
I think Abir has used the line in many, many arguments with Mr. Mukherjee. Listen, you married.
So who's the real asshole here?
You knew what you were getting into. Steve, last word.
Yeah, no, he's not a nice man. He's an arsehole.
Okay, next one. I've got two more. I thought I only had two more. I had three more, but so let's go through this one quickly. Am I the arsehole for hiding my girlfriend's sentimental forks? My girlfriend. Sorry.
What? Say it again. Say what? Just think about this. I don't know what you're going to say. I have no idea. Think about this. What? Say it again.
Am I the arsehole for hiding my girlfriend's sentimental forks?
Explain.
All right.
Elaborate.
My girlfriend, who I moved in with last year, received some cutlery when her auntie passed away the other year. It isn't particularly nice or valuable, but she likes it for sentimental reasons. I hate eating with these forks as the tangs are too close together and it really minimizes the amount of food I can eat in one forkful. I began hiding the forks in my work van, one every 3 to 4 weeks until they were all hidden. I claimed ignorance and that seemed to be going pretty well. Anyway, a couple of months passed by with me enjoying having properly sized eating implements when I gave her a lift in my van to work and she opened the glove box and found all the forks. She is quite upset due to the emotional nature of the forks and also that I would be dishonest about something so small. The forks are back in the regular rotation now and I can feel the resentment growing and growing whenever I fetch a properly sized fork to eat my dinner with when she has knowingly set out a tiny fork to eat my dinner with. So, am I the arsehole for hiding my girlfriend's tiny forks? The problem
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say she is the absolute arsehole. Someone eat off tiny forks. Fuck that. Fuck her and fuck her tiny forks. Do I look like I eat from a tiny fork? No.
Do I look like I eat from a tiny fork? Laughing at you. Get out of it.
Get out of here with your tiny fork.
Give me a full-sized implement or just sling your hook.
Jenny went
How tiny are we talking about here? I get the impression it's a full-size sort of a fork, but it's just,
Yeah, it's just that my mum's got forks like that from the 19th.
They're a wee bit close together. Because you can get me tiny forks,
No, little
like
cake fork or something.
a leprechaun would use.
She wouldn't want to. Why does she use them? If they're really sentimental, she should just have them in her own glove compartment somewhere, safe from her. It's weird. I find it
like if my forks had been disappearing, and then I opened the glove compartment. I would piss myself laughing because I think that's really funny that he's done that. Like spirited away the forks one at a time. I think that's hilarious.
She wasn't bothered as they disappeared one at a time. She was only bothered that he had taken them.
I didn't think they were.
So yeah, she must. Yeah, she really cared about them. She'd have been
borrowers. Maybe she thought the borrowers had taken them.
Yeah, maybe she was glad to get rid of them too because she.
The question here is like, how big are the plates? I mean, it's only relative, isn't it? If they got really small plates, the forks would look huge. But if
the question is, how big's his mouth?
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. I mean, but my problem is, who the fuck has got sentimental cutlery that they use every day?
No,
sentimental about something. Don't use it all the time.
Exactly.
Well, unless she wants to be reminded of her aunt every time she has a pot
Every
noodle.
time her food falls off the side of her fork.
Yeah.
My auntie used to drop food off the side of her fork.
Oh, Auntie Jean and her tiny forks.
It's what killed her in the end. She swallowed one.
She couldn't. She starved to death. She couldn't get enough in. Yeah.
She didn't have to.
Her husband stabbed her with a tiny little fork.
Yeah.
Just after the 14th stabbing. By then it was too late, just like a colander. So she was.
Steve, what do you think on this?
How can you possibly ask me to form an opinion on the utter bullshit that you're talking about here? I think I might just buy out. I think I should be a conscience objector here. This is all terrible. What am I doing here? I think, hey, I don't know. Oh, who the fuck are these people? Why did they post this on the internet?
Yeah.
You just object to the idea of telling the story.
I object to people who have sentimental forks. I object strongly to people then
attention on the internet
who steal their partner's sentimental forks
Yeah.
and hide them somewhere else because they can't say. I don't know. I just don't know. I despair of humanity.
Wasting everybody's time with this story. Personally, I think she's an asshole too, but he's really a time waster, isn't he? You expect better quality than this when you go on that Reddit thread. You know, you're not expecting sentimental cutlery.
This is the only one I literally feel really strongly about.
Oh, I know. Fair enough.
Okay, here's the question then on a related subject, because I have my own fork that no one else is allowed to use, and I get really angry when the rest of the family.
You're the arsehole.
I'm the arsehole, aren't I?
Yeah.
But the fork is exactly the size that I want it to be. We've got smaller forks and bigger forks. This is the only one that is the exact size that I need.
Well, how would you feel if someone took it and put it in a glove compartment, Luca?
If
a van, not even a car, a van.
Yeah.
A work van.
Those glove compartments are huge.
Work van, yeah.
I would press charges.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. So what is this special? Where did you get this fork?
Yeah.
From the
Why do you only have one fucking fork?
I don't know.
Why is it
still
married?
I don't know where it came from. We've had it for a long time.
Fork heaven.
Is that what it is?
Just
when I was a student, we all had our own forks. You didn't touch anyone else's fork.
Yeah, that's true.
Student accommodation because you didn't know where it'd been.
The cutlery drawer.
In the bedroom.
My Mrs. Veste, Emma, is in the chat thanking Abir for but I think she's not thanking everyone.
Go and get your fork.
Yeah, we need
Go and get your fork.
You're right, Mrs. V.
Yeah, she absolutely was. We need to see what's so special about this fork, and then maybe the story will make sense to us suddenly.
Hide the
Do
fork.
you know what? Do you know what? This whole night has just destroyed my faith in human nature.
It's soul destroying, this pal.
It's just. I mean, what do you say to this? That these people are voters.
Right. So we have this size fork, which is not my fork, and then we have this size fork, which is far too big, and then just right.
Goldilocks and the three forks.
Yeah.
Goldilocks and the three forks. This fork is the best fork.
That fork looks remarkably similar to the other fork.
No, it does not.
They're all the same.
Nothing wrong with the first fork.
They're all slightly different sizes.
Okay, very slightly.
But
very slightly.
That's why this one's perfect.
Why are they all slightly different? Does anyone else just have a set of 4 forks that are all the same size? I feel like a freak now.
Yeah.
You're the freak, right? Lucas just put 3 forks, exactly the same forks, held them up, and you're the freak.
It's different. Look, the pattern's different and everything.
Oh, okay. Yes, I can see the pattern's different as well.
Look. Different. This is my fork and no one should use my fork.
I feel like you've got the wrong one that you're holding up there.
No. I know my fork, Jenny. Don't
question a man's knowledge of his fork, Jenny.
I should have left this podcast a long time ago.
Of a lineup.
Anyway,
I think this is the first time where I've absolutely agreed with Abir. I think they're both arseholes. Yeah, I think they are. Yeah.
I'm like, look, who do the other forks belong to?
the rest of the house, they have. Listen, there are like 20 forks in there, right? They can have any one of them forks. For some reason, every now and again, they use my fork, and it's like
it looks like all the other ones.
no, it doesn't look
Yes,
like
it
all
does.
the others. I'm gonna start hiding my fork. Thomas Shevlin, get a grip, Luca. A fork is a fork is a fork. No, I've just proved they're all different. Look at the size of this one. I can't. That's too big.
My pen, and this one's completely different.
Anyway,
Poster. This one.
hang on, Emma. No, you have not been vindicated.
Yeah, I think
100%.
Emma, I feel so sorry for you having to put up with this terrible man and his fork problem.
I don't have many foibles. I swear, that is just one of my foibles.
Emma, hide the fork.
That's it.
I think because I know something maybe some other of you don't. During lockdown, Luca had a very different appearance than he does now.
Yes.
And I just have a vision of you in your previous appearance, storming around the house shouting, "Where's my fork?" Could you show the ladies and gentlemen your previous appearance before you were held down and strategically shaved?
Strategically shaved is a strange way to put it. Let me find it.
Maybe we shouldn't show the good people this. It could be very traumatic for everyone involved.
Hang on. I've lost it now.
No, you haven't lost it. You know where it is.
I've put it somewhere. I don't know where it is. Is it in there? No. I don't know where I've put it. You're going to have to just give me a sec.
We'll have to give him a second. But listen, in terms of this and the fork business, I don't know. Having a tiny fork which you eat in remembrance of those dead, well, we'll draw a discreet veil over that. But hiding that person's forks is because you have your own fork is just not good at all.
What about forcing someone else to eat from your dead auntie's fork?
That's fine. You make sacrifices in a marriage. As long as you're not forced to eat the dead auntie, that's okay. There are worse things. There's a bit of give and take in every relationship.
Yeah, in every relationship, there's a bit of give and take. I just don't think that that's in the spirit of marriage is stealing someone else's forks or having sentimental forks in the first place.
Said the man with a sentimental fork.
It's not a sentimental fork. It's very different to that. It's very different. Look, I can't find the picture, so you're all just gonna have to imagine the fact that I had bigger hair and everywhere.
Can't you just grow it now while we're waiting?
Yeah, I don't know what I've done with it. I've lost the picture.
Emma will be able to send you one, I'm sure, while you're on.
Yeah.
Louise wants to know, do you take it on holiday with you, Luca?
yeah.
No. It's like I like to give it a break, to be honest, because I've had it for a long time. And I'm always worried that something might happen to Forky. And, he's
Forky.
He's better days anyway. But it's just, I'm never going to find this kind of fork again. That's the problem.
Are you sure? I bet you if you put a picture of it on Twitter, you'd have 30 of them sent to you.
Like when children lose their little teddy bears and people put a picture.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
"Oh, that teddy bear.
Somebody's favourite toy, and you'll be drowning in forks, Luca.
Right, we'll do one last one. One last one. We'll get right off the forks. I think we can all agree that hiding anyone's forks and having sentimental forks is just all arseholes. So, last one. I'm not even going to say the title of this one. My 38 female partner of 9 months, who is a 40-year-old male, have built a relationship that is fairly tolerant of normal bodily functions, like We are all human, bro. Get down with the fact our flesh suits do things we don't always want, etc. It's good. Herein lies the problem. When he farts, which is fairly regularly, it's extraordinarily loud, but 95% of the time, completely odorless. When I fart, which is usually only when I am unwell or if I have inadvertently eaten something I shouldn't, it is very much in the silent but deadly category. I try and rectify as much as I can by airing it away, but they can be pretty brutal. Anyway, he has asked that if I'm about to fart, I say quack to pre-warn him so he can brace himself. And holy fuck, I just can't bring myself to do it. I tried once when I was just about to fart. I looked him dead in the eye and said, quack. And then laughed so hard that I spilt my wine, and I am just not sure I can do this. He quietly gagged in the corner and helped me clean up my wine, but there has to be a better solution to this. Before you say, just leave and go to the next room, the vast majority of the time, I don't know if I'm going to fart. Preempting it is very difficult for me. So, am I the arsehole for not saying quack?
I've lost all patience with tonight. This is yes.
People deserve one another, don't they?
Crime writers, serious crime writers.
Yeah. Our time has value, mate. We're here for charity, and this is what you give us.
Take the piss.
Just.
And the forks,
If it's not forks, it's quack. What is it? I'm going.
I didn't even see there's a question here. Of course, you should quack like a duck before.
Do you not remember Jenny said it? They said, "Oh yeah, it'll be a nice intellectual discussion. We'll be discussing some of the important things that are happening this week." And this is what we get: farts and sex.
Real life issues, I was told. Real life issues.
Do you remember, guys? Do you remember the really heady moment when we were talking about Kafka?
I remember that. Yes, you remember that.
From that, do you remember those good days when it was under the couch and it was the cardboard, and now we're reduced to this? It's forks and farts.
We started at Kafka.
Like us up, yeah. This is the one you saved for last.
It was.
I'm looking at them all, going, now which one would be a really good note to finish on? I know the cracking one.
Good note to finish on.
Yeah.
Is it any wonder you have a special fork?
I mean, like, I don't say quack though. Tracy makes a great point, Steve, that Inspector Mallard sent that in.
Yes.
Mallard, Duck Detective.
Inspector Mallard. Remember those days? Those innocent days. They were fantastic. Talking about ducks. And here we are. Well, look, I mean, I think, these things happen. If you have someone who's very loud farting, I think in some ways that's maybe a bit worse, really, because that can interfere. I could break your concentration. Say you're hanging a picture or something, and there is a sudden, violent
decompression
explosion. Yes, and that could put you. If you're opening a tin of beans, and then you had. Jesus, what was that?
Turn this into art and fancy words. Let's try and bring it back, people. Come on.
Yeah, well, as Proust would say, that's
to fart or not to fart. That's the question.
I fart,
There is
therefore
no
I am.
greater quack on earth.
I think warning someone that if you are known as a silent but deadly type of person is fine. Having them say quack beforehand is ridiculous. And
why is it ridiculous?
Close your mouth would suffice, wouldn't it?
Just
close your mouth, here it comes.
Yeah, just like brace yourself. I think that's better.
Brace yourself. What?
But I think saying something like quack can only it's the funniest word you could say in that situation is just to turn someone and go quack. I think that's not that you can't get away with that.
Said that she started laughing so hard. Yeah. I thought that was going to end really differently than spilling their wine.
I did as well.
You're trying to hold in a fart. You're quacking like a duck. You start laughing. It's all over.
Karen Roll Cross suggests that she says, incoming.
Well, it would really be outgoing, wouldn't it? Wouldn't be incoming. There's an in tray and an out tray. You should say something inspiring. Vive la revolution! And then, remember the Alamo. And then, something like that.
Alex Hawley actually has his own Am I the Arsehole, which is related to this. I once farted at school and a classmate got a week's detention because the teacher thought it was him. Am I the arsehole? How'd you get a week's detention? What kind of school? A week's detention for farting?
Your teacher's the arsehole.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I mean, that's obviously not a school that's anywhere near me because, like, you could.
You'd have smelt it.
Yeah. You could literally throw chairs at teachers in our school and still there the next day. You have to literally burn down half the school to get a detention in our place.
Also, the ability to throw your farts is awesome. Well,
I know, yeah. I mean, that's the real thing. How do you manage to do that?
Quack.
My ex-father-in-law used to be able to do it in time to the James Bond theme tune.
Wow.
True story.
Wow.
It's been a really interesting Christmas.
What a man.
Round at his house, I can tell you.
You can see him on Britain's Got Talent.
He did used to pre-warn, but he did used to, afterwards, he would say things like, well, you shouldn't have got downwind of me. That was one of his favourites, if people complained. And better out than in. That was his other favourite excuse, or his explanation afterwards. But yes, the James Bond theme tune.
No,
my goodness.
Louder.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I've never seen James Bond, but didn't he have like different songs for each?
You've never seen James Bond?
No.
Look, there's all sorts of things he hasn't seen. He's no idea what things are.
You know what? In the real world, you've got your personal fork, and you've never watched James Bond.
No, I don't need to see James Bond. Thanks, Jenny.
You've never seen James Bond?
You've never seen a Bond film
It's
ever?
probably been on, like, my boys have probably had it on, and I've
Right.
like gone upstairs to read a book or something.
I don't need to. I kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It is very formulaic. But unless you've been to see one in the cinema, you've never come out of the cinema and wanted to do a somersault across the bonnets of the waiting cars outside the cinema. That's, you're missing out. That's a major part of.
What happens is I go and see Marvel films instead, and I get myself into way more trouble trying to replicate those kind of feats.
Yeah.
Remember back in the 80s when it was Roger Moore past his prime and James Bond used to dress like your dad? That was quite an era.
Yeah.
He used to wear like zip-up jackets, just like your dad from CNA. Anyway.
CNA, good old days.
I know how we did. My ex-father-in-law. I was going to say how we got from quacking.
Is your ex-father-in-law Blofeld?
Not very good. He'd have appreciated that one.
Look, these things happen, and in a conflict situation, sometimes people fart, and sometimes it's smelly, and sometimes it's violently loud. And so what? These things happen.
Expecting a warning and being very specific about what the warning should be.
That's not nice. That's not good.
Very reasonable, is it? I mean, they must. And again, to come back to Abir's earlier point, they must have known about this when they first, before they married, when they were, it seems to me that this isn't something you can.
No, you don't know about farts before you marry someone.
Well, that's true. You don't. I held one in for 16 years.
Did you ever see a Bond film during that time, Abir?
I saw several.
Oh, okay.
I remember the first time I farted in front of my husband. I thought he was asleep. And so I waited till he'd gone to sleep. I let it out. And then all I heard was him giggling next to me. And I just sort of went, oh, no. But he still married me. But that was the only time I farted in front of him before we got married.
I agree. I think that, just giving people warning about farts just kills the romance in a relationship.
I think you're right. There should be an element of surprise and spontaneity.
When you shove their head under the duvet, they're going to be warned about that, aren't they?
I think it's like the vital Hitchcockian difference between surprise and suspense, isn't it? Do you show the bomb ticking under the table? Or
what do you mean? Do you cock your leg before you let go?
It's...
You lift the covers ready.
Karen Cole has the comment of the night. Does he want us to say quack because it smells foul?
Oh.
Well, I think that's a great line.
Go away. Get out of here.
Like that one.
World of fart-related puns.
Someone just asking, have I seen Aliens yet? Yeah, I've seen Alien and Aliens. I've seen them.
They steal your fork. Did they probe you with your fork?
And I hadn't watched Die Hard, the first Die Hard and the second Die Hard, until 2 years ago. I'd seen Die Hard with a Vengeance 20 years ago. So it makes sense of that. But yeah, I think that's a great way to. I think we can. I don't think there are any arseholes in that story. I think the only person who's the arsehole possibly is the husband for not picking.
Definitely sphincters.
You need to pick a good word to use at that moment, and I think like incoming or outgoing, as it might be, I think that's better than quack, because that's just ridiculous. Sarah, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think he's a bit of an arsehole for having imposed a rule that was, he must have known was unreasonable within the terms of the marriage contract.
Well, I'm going to go highbrow on this, and I think if you insisted that your partner said quack every time they farted, there would be a Pavlovian duck fart situation going on every time you saw a duck or heard a duck quack.
Never go.
So your brain would create an aroma to go with that. So you're in danger of psychological conditioning there.
Yeah.
I just wonder how often this happens. Jenny, what's your verdict?
I feel like he was probably having a sense of humour about it, and so I'm going to take a different stance, and I'm going to say she's the arsehole. She should go along with it. Quack, baby. If that's what he wants, if that's what he likes, just quack.
Quack, baby. Abir, final word.
Well, to be honest, I'm leaving tonight feeling rather depressed. Not only because this is the end of my career, quite honestly, but human nature. I mean, seriously, these people are real, and I feel just an all-pervasive sense of shame, disgust, and depression is all I have to say at this point.
Which is exactly how I wanted to end the first day of the festival. So, everyone, thanks very much for coming. I would like to say a massive thank you to Sarah Hilary, Jenny Blackhurst, and Abir Mukherjee for agreeing to destroy their own careers in such a way. You can go and buy their final books of their careers on Waterstones. 30%
items.
if you use the code LOCKEDUP2. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow at 2:30 with the first panel, which is scary campfire stories. That'll be with me, Alex North, Katrina Ward, and CJ Tudor.
So why couldn't we have had that panel?
Yeah.
No, I looked at the title of this panel, Abir, and I instantly thought of it. Don't ask me how that happened.
It's a Pavlovian response.
Yeah.
Pavlovian
Quack.
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 But massive thank, and we've been doing this to raise money for the Trussell Trust. We've raised. I haven't looked. I've been too busy doing this. But earlier today, I think we were approaching £10,000 mark, which is
brilliant.
So yeah, all of these authors are doing this for free. So please go and buy their books. And Steve, will you be back tomorrow, or have you?
I don't know yet. We'll have to see how the wind takes me tonight. I may turn up tomorrow. Am I doing something tomorrow? Seriously, what am I doing?
Oh yeah, you are. We're doing the quiz at 9:30 tomorrow.
We're doing the quiz, but I'll pop in to see people and stuff and say hello.
Okay. Thanks everyone so much for being a part of it. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you.
Thanks to the audience. Really good.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you everyone.
Bye.
We'll see you tomorrow.